Hello, family. Good to see you all today. We are getting ready for a great time together. The next hour, we have a lot of things to cover. Going to be a good time. And I'm especially looking forward to spending it with you. Good morning, Pamela Barbeau. Good morning to all of my Rhonda's here. Wendell is here. We got a few folks joining us, and I'm having a little trouble with computer here. Why is that? There we go. Ben, good morning. Dana's here. Jason's here. Everybody's in the house. Steve. So let me know where you're from when you join. Stetson is here from Oklahoma. Jamie Ellen, again from Nebraska, the great state of, right, Jamie? Chris Reynolds is here. And let's see. Sorry for the pause, having a little bit of difficulty with the computer, but we're going to get there. Gary, good morning. He says, I'm having coffee break, not metal coffee, but it'll do. Well, it's a sloppy second, but it'll do. Sigmar is here. Luke, good morning. Good morning. Jason says, you look and sound great. You're awesome, Jason. Thank you. And I feel good. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. I feel good. You came to hear me sing today? Okay. I don't mind. David is here from Horseheads, New York once again. James Nelson, Gary Buchanan. Rock Island, a.k.a. Rocky, he says, good morning from northern Michigan. Robert? Of course, Ben is from Peoria. And Murillo says, good morning from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Jason is in the house. Yes, you are. Good morning to John from Tipton, Ohio. Chip from Kentucky, good morning. Matt from Iowa. James from Indiana. And Sigmar from Norway. Steve from Connecticut. Oscar is here from Puerto Rico once again. I love you guys joining me every day, and this is really fun, isn't it? Julie and Ben are here from Germany, and Kevin says good morning. Kevin Murphy, good morning to you, Kevin. And Robert says, I'm here from the Black Hills. Where are the Black Hills? North Dakota, South Dakota, that area. Mostly North Dakota. Jim McCain, good morning. Nargis, my good friend. She says, I love when you sing, puts a smile on my face. Because it's comedy, right? Nargis, I know. Manny from Carolina, Puerto Rico. Kevin from Sacramento. You know, I love just reading these at the very beginning of our talk every day. It just gives us kind of a feeling of family, international family. People are here from all over the place, huh? So pretty cool. Good morning from Houston, Thomas says. Rhonda is here from Sudbury, Ontario. And Claire again from the UK. Good morning, Claire. Kansas Cliff. We're going to call you Kansas Cliff. Good morning, my friend. Eugene, Oregon. David is here. Jason. He says, you're doing this every day? Jason, I've been doing it every day, Monday through Friday for a few weeks. And I'll be doing it next week and probably the week after. And then the week following that, wait, here's the big announcement. Are you ready? On Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, I start my new show, and it is called Pastor Bob and Friends Live. And it will be live, 90-minute show with a lot of guests, a lot of talk. It's a little more polished, a little more produced than this one. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. And then I'll also go back to doing my daily podcast, my 20-minute podcast. That'll be on YouTube and Facebook and wherever you see podcasts. And then we'll begin to do my my Metal Devo podcast once again, too, because we haven't been able to keep up with that. I haven't recorded the newest ones, but there are 88 of them out. And when you see that picture under Metal Devo, that's the one to look for. And if you haven't listened to them, get the book and follow along. Steve says, good morning, sir. Larry Fish says, good morning, Metal family. Larry's on tonight, by the way. You don't want to miss him. He's our videographer and a cool guy. And he is putting together our Pastor Bob and Friends broadcast. I keep saying podcast, but it's a broadcast. And it's going to be so great. JG is here. JG Greg Sluter is here from Tennessee. Cool place to be from. Just saying. Rob is here. He says, good morning from Chicago. Will your coffee ever be available in Keurig cups? Probably not. And let me tell you why, Rob. Because they're so easy to make yourself. And they're very expensive to have crafted. So, yeah, you can get the little cups that you make yourself and put in your Keurig machine, and they work great. And that's what I would do if I were you. And we'd rather concentrate on some other things. And we've got some other Headbangers Brew products coming up. The coffee beans will be here in just a few days. We just reordered the ground coffee because it's selling out so quickly. Thank you for that. All the money goes to, the profits go to the homeless ministry. And man, we appreciate you supporting that. Once again, Headbangers Brew. You can get it at wearemetalwearefamily.com, and that and all of our cool stuff, all the posters, you know, some coffee cups. We got coffee cups for all the posters as well that are very cool. And plus today, but wait, there's more. Today for you, all of you that are watching right now, 10% off. If you just put the code in at checkout that says Sanctuary Much. Yeah. Sanctuary Much, all one word. And do that, and you'll get 10% off today on there. How cool is that? James is here. He says, I love these family chats. Great day, great way to start the day with you. Thank you. You know, I love them too. And it's Friday, which means I'm about to take the weekend off, and I need it. I have some things that I've got to catch up on, and some things that I hope will bless you in the future as well, plus with the homeless ministry. So I need the weekend off, but once again, Monday through Friday. And did you know that next week, including my broadcast, we have 27 family chats. I know. 27. I'm going to read who's coming up, you know, in the next week. Man, we got some cool people, some new ones too, that will be here, and I'll let you know who they are in just a minute. Danny Miller, good to see you, my old friend from Norman, Oklahoma. Yes, you are. Larry says, da-da-da. I know. Jimmy Carpenter, good morning. Kevin Murphy, be all things to all people, and it looks like you're reaching all people. Well, I think that's great, but you know, honestly, my burden is the metal crowd. And I love it that a lot of you that are joining aren't necessarily into metal, and you don't have to be, but it is my passion and it is my focus. And we got a lot of things coming up for our metal community, like the coffee. You know, when we crafted this, let me just tell you the story real quick. Headbangers Brew, and I wanted to put intense on it, but I said, can we make the darkest coffee possible, because it's metal, you know, the darkest coffee possible without being bitter? And let me tell you, that's really what we've done. It's fair trade. It's, all the good stuff. And it is awesome. If you haven't tried it, what? Gerald, hello from the Philippines. Hello, Gerald. Rodney is here from Australia. Adrian, good morning. She says, God bless you. Thank you. James Nelson says, morning, everyone. Hope you guys are doing good. I hope you're all doing good, too. I am, James. Thank you. And let's see, Mike Trishelle, good morning to you, my old friend. Henry is from Pittsburgh. He says, I'm having my brew. Great. Good for you. Jordan is here. Hey, PB and friends. What's crackin'? I like that. From Melbourne, Australia. Good for you. Michelle. Christopher Keene is here. What a cool guy. He's coming up, checking in from Laverne, California. And a professor at Azusa Pacific University. And he'll be doing a broadcast. I'm very excited about it. He's going to talk about, all those things having to do with creativity and all of that. He's been on a few times before. He was on yesterday. He'll be on this next week again. So make sure if you didn't catch Chris yesterday, please go back and watch it. Good stuff, good stuff. Thanks, Chris. Paul Martin says, I love your coffee. I love you, Paul. Thank you. That's all you have to do to win my heart over is just love my coffee. That's all I'm saying. Rob, good morning. He says, thank you. I did not know that. I will be getting some of the ground coffee. Have a great and blessed weekend. Well, good, Rob. Thank you. That's great. Mark says, God's blessings to everyone. Stay heavy. There you go. I like that. Yikes. Eric Green, good morning to you. John Sazzoni, great to see you, John. He says, please pray for my wife here in Jersey. She's a nurse working here in the trenches. So many people are. And isn't it great that the curve is flattening out? And yesterday our president announced that we're beginning to open up America again. And there's 3 14-day plans in doing it. And great plans, and every part of America will open up a little differently. But we're anxious to get out, and we're anxious for day 41, what we're going to talk about in a minute. And the author, wait for it, the author of 41 Will Come is doing a family chat today. Chuck Tate will be here at 3 o'clock Central Time. Now, 3 o'clock Central Time, which is a little late for some people. If you're in Europe, that's 10 p.m. or 2200. And then if you're in the UK, it's 9 p.m. or 2100. So it's a little late for some of you, but please join in and you're going to love it. And if you haven't gotten his book yet, 41 Will Come, please do that. Now, why do I keep talking about the book? Because I don't think there's any better way to prepare for right now, honestly, than this book. Excuse me. I knew that was coming. Folks, it's allergy season. Oh my gosh, do I have it. And I've been sneezing for the last couple days and a little bit of an allergy headache and lots of congestion. But man, it's beautiful outside. It's the price we have to pay, I guess, for that, isn't it? He says, Thomas says, I got a cup from the store that fits a Keurig, and I use it with my Headbangers brew. See, there you go. That's the way to do it. Good morning, Charlie Wallace. Good to see you today. Jamie McKavanaugh is in the house, one of our podcasters and broadcasters. Great people here today. Sue Spencer says hello to you and Mama Bonnie. Thank you. And she will enjoy hearing that. And she's so busy all the time. We're getting a lot of people in line, at least 100 every day. and with the homeless, and she does a lot of the cooking, a lot of the preparation, a lot of the planning. And so I'm going to catch her one morning when she has an hour to spare. But she'll be, well, a couple months. She is 90. And I'd love to keep up with her. I'm just saying. James Nelson is here. Good morning, James. Luke. Tim. All right. Tim says, hey, Pastor Bob from my state, from New York State, is here. New York, New York. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, well, James says, good morning from snowy Iowa. What's up with that? And my friend Phil from Casting Crowns wrote to me early this morning and says, look at this picture. And he took a picture of his yard that was white. And he said, I wasn't expecting this when I woke up this morning. Indiana. I know. So people are getting cold weather right now. And yikes. So Jamie Chris is here from Seattle. Sue Denny's is here, says hello. Hello, Sue. Kevin says, I meant you're reaching the world by how many different places people sign in from. Isn't that cool? Right now, and traditionally just about every day we have somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 people that join live. And then I noticed my last podcast, I think, or the one before that, went to 15,000. Just people that watch it later, But I appreciate you joining in, especially those of you that are here live. Awesome to have you join me. And people have really been joining all the other podcasts too. We've had some really great people on this week that have just been a huge blessing, and we'll have them back. People say, well, I miss Glenn Kaiser, for instance, when he was here the other day. Glenn from Resband, and no problem, he'll be back next week. I'm just saying. And we got a lot of great people coming up, so it's pretty cool. James Nelson, we're getting snow here too. Well, see, everybody's getting it. Tammy Clark says, good morning from Chattanooga. Yeah, good for you. She says, me and my friends have been feeding the tornado victims every day. Good for you. Good for you. They had a big tornado there, and we know what that's all about here. Right by my house, we had one, and oh my gosh. By the way, Sue Denny's is from Chicago. We've got a few here from Chicago. That's great, isn't it? And I'm just going to run through a few more. David says, howdy from Texas parts. I love that. Rodney is here from Queensland. Good for you, Rodney. And that's in Australia, by the way. Let's see. Jim Burns, my old friend, says good morning. Good morning to you, my old friend. Love you lots. We've been friends for a long time, haven't we, Jim? Since, 35 years, I think. Are we that old? John Marco is here. Good to see you, Mr. John Marco. He says, I can only join live on Fridays because of my work, but I'm really enjoying the stream. John Marco is from Switzerland, who, by the way, is about to become part of my family. For real. Just saying. I'll go into detail more later, but there is this rumor that he's dating my niece, and it could be a little serious. So Marco's been here a couple times working with the homeless ministry, and I miss that guy. I wish you were here, Jean Marco. So, let's see. Coco is here. She says it's a beautiful day in Texas. Isn't every day a beautiful day in Texas, Coco? Just saying. Good morning, Lori says from, she doesn't say where she's from. Good morning, Pastor Bob. Good morning to you, Lori. And Tiago is here from Brazil. So let me know where you're from when you sign in. I'd like to know that. Eric Green says, snowing like crazy here in north central Indiana. We've got an inch so far, calling for 3 or 4 inches. And isn't that strange? It's the middle of April. We're getting snow. Well, I'm not here, but it is chilly here. Well, it was about 40 when I woke up. It's 58 now, so we're getting there. Cheryl Bowman says, hug your mom for me. I'm happy to. You know, I always look for an excuse, so thank you. All right. So great to have you all here. John Kiley is here, and today's number is 41. Wow. Well, that's pretty cool. But metaphorically speaking, 41 is still a little ways up, but the president did say that some states could open today, so today might be 41 for some people around, yes. Good morning, Duke. Good morning, William. He says, good morning, Brother Bob. Glad to be with. It's 37 in Massachusetts. It's a little chilly, isn't it? Yes. Nan is here. Good morning to my good friend Nan. Joining from right here in Tennessee, Madison, she says. Nan is on our staff here at Sanctuary, and such a cool lady. Just saying. Very good friend. And Vito is here from South Australia. Welcome. We got a lot of Australia people here today, and I'm happy that you've joined me. And Lance, my good friend Lance. Good to see you, dude. From Wisconsin. I have to say it right, because that's how they say it in Wisconsin. Glad you joined me, Lance. Really good to see you today. Jessica's here from Helsinki. Awesome. Good to have you here. Helsinki, of course, is in Finland. Lori from Massachusetts. Kirk, good morning to you, Kirk. He says, with 1.5 inches of snow last night. Yes. I think everybody's having the snow thing. Rob is here. He says from New Jersey. I'm just going to read through these real quickly. Let's see. 6 inches of snow in Lincoln, Nebraska. Really? Wow. So we're talking about the weather, aren't we? The Netherlands. Good morning, Daniel. Greg Smith is here from North Carolina. And he said where nothing could be finer. I like that. Do you know what he's referring to? Okay, here we go. Nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. That's what he's talking about. Because I know every song, just saying. Another from North Carolina. Good morning, James. Rockin' for the rock, he says. That's pretty cool. And Christopher Keene says, when is the Nanette broadcast? Talk to her. She's going to kill me again. I'd love to have Nanette do one of these. I really would. Would you like to know who's coming up? Okay. So, today we have Chuck Tate here this afternoon, and I am so excited for him to be on. Chuck is the author of 41 Will Come, the book we've been talking about, and the book we're going to talk about again in just a minute. But it is the guide for preparing for the end of this coronavirus quarantine. And I think he's got some amazing things in there. It's been a best-selling book for a couple of years. You can get it in any Christian bookstore, probably many stores, period. Wherever you buy books, you should be able to get it. And Chuck will be here. Chuck, again, is a good friend of mine. He's the pastor of Rock Church. Yeah, he's a rocker. He's a metalhead. And he's a pastor. And a good friend. Well, again, I've known Chuck since he was in high school. A long time ago. And I've spoken at his church in Peoria many times. So glad that he's going to be here at 3. And then at 7, Larry Fish is in the house. And Larry, our videographer, also has some really insightful things that he wants to share with you that I think you're going to find quite interesting. So that's coming up today. And then, would you like to know who's coming up next week? Well, let me tell you. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. in this spot is Peter Stenlund. Peter is the singer for Laudamus in Sweden. Great band, if you haven't heard them. Oh my gosh, and they're one of the older bands around. Eric Clayton is here at noon from Savior Machine. And Eric, again, just a great guy and has a lot of things on his heart to share. He'll be sharing from Germany. He's in Germany right now, doing a little recording. You may get him to talk about it. He probably will. At 3 tomorrow, Scott Heron is here. And let me just read some of the people we have coming up. Roger Dale Martin at 7. And then the next day we have Bob Adams for a little church in the morning. And then Don Wade in the afternoon and Chris Dorman. And then, here's something kind of cool. Monday at noon, Christian Tapper is going to be here. Now, if you've been following our podcast for a while, you know that a few years ago, Christian Tapper did a podcast called Love Bound. And it was about looking for a wife and preparing for all that and just getting ready. Well, a lot has happened since that podcast. And Christian will be here with his wife. Yeah, doing a family chat on Monday at noon. Christian and Hedda will be here and talking about their relationship. And we have to rename it. It's not Love Bound anymore. It's Love Found. And he'll be talking about that. Steve Speakman from Sanctuary Wales. Jamie McIntosh. Glenn Kaiser will be back. Dave Hart, Sanctuary San Diego will be back. Kevin Tooby will be here from Broken Flesh. Great band, and Kevin's a great guy. You'll enjoy that. Bob Adams will be here twice next week. Roger Dale Martin will be as well. Steve Casto, who does a great job. You've been enjoying him. Will be back again. Michael Bloodgood. Christopher Keene, as I said, will be here on Thursday. Chuck Tate, who is here today, will be back, I know, again next week. Part 2. And I'm so excited that he's doing family chats with us. He's so good at it. And, of course, Larry Fish will be back. And Les Carlson will be back. And like I said, next week we have, starting tomorrow, 27 family chats planned. Running out of things to do? Oh, we'll keep you busy. Well, it's good to see you today. I'm so far behind in reading what you have here. And Nargis says, wow, Eric Clayton, I know. I'm glad that he's joining us. That's pretty cool, isn't it? And Charlie Wallace says, yay, my kids love Christian Tapper. I know. He's a cool guy. And I know that everybody's going to love Christian. He's just the coolest guy. I'm glad that he's going to be back. Let's see, what do we got here? Well, folks, we've been talking about day 41. I want to do that for a few minutes. And I've been saying all along, and those of you that have joined me every single day, here we go again. But it's a good reminder, if you're joining me for the first time, here we go. But day 41, and the whole premise is this. There are a lot of 40 segments in the Bible. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights. 40 days in the desert, lots of 40s. And most of them are times of a little bit of difficulty, times of planning, times kind of time out, times while other things are going on before you're able to enter again. There's all kinds of things. And, you know, the Ark, 40 days and 40 nights was one of those. But day 41 comes. The Ark opens up. People go onto dry land after a while. And it's a new day. You come out of the desert for 40 days. Day 41 comes. It's a new day. And you take the experience, all those things that you've learned during the 40-day period, and you apply it to day 41. And this isn't a time to sit around, folks, and waste time and say, gee, I wish we could go outside. Don't you dare do that. This is the time to get ready for day 41. What does day 41 look like for you? And that's what we've been talking about. And we've been discussing all kinds of things, everything from downsizing, getting ready to give a bunch of stuff away that you don't need that somebody else could use. We've been talking about reorganizing your life, rescheduling your life, beginning to look at things a little differently, and beginning to see things in a little different light that you may not have seen. Sometimes we become so focused on negative, we forget to see some great opportunities ahead. And don't forget, every problem is an opportunity. By the way, all of my posters are free. They're 5x7, suitable for framing, and you can see that this one is framed. You can stick it on your refrigerator and your mirror. You can do whatever you want to with them. We have 4 of them so far, and let me just show you. That one we've got Dream Big. God is always dreaming bigger. And that's a great one for day 41, isn't it? Because God has big dreams for you. Don't be afraid to dream big. Also preparing for day 41, this one is important. Love God, love others, love you. And that's what Jesus said was the greatest commandment. We've been talking a lot about agape love. And then we've been saying that we are blessed. But not just blessed, we're blessed to be a blessing. And so this is that one that says, when day 41 comes, I'm taking my blessings and I'm scattering it around. And folks, you can't outgive, you can't outbless. Every time you bless somebody else, the blessing comes back to you. And it's the greatest thing in the world. So we've been talking a lot about preparing for this time. And specifically, a couple days ago, we talked about this preparation. And let me go here for a second. Let's see. So I asked you to write a few things down. And if you have a journal, write it in your journal, as I did with this one. Just a regular sheet of paper will do as well. If that's all you have, stick it on your mirror, stick it on your refrigerator, put it in your Bible, whatever. But write these things. First of all, what's my purpose? And there are some general purposes that all of us have. Just by being a child of God, you have a purpose. And one of my posters is this one called, Who Am I? And this is available, by the way, at our merch store, along with all the rest of the posters, for free. You just download it there. wearemetalwearfamily.com. But when you know who you are in Christ, you begin to discover your purpose. Why am I here? Why did God create me? And why am I uniquely placed here to do what God has asked me to do and equipped? Well, he doesn't just place you in a certain place and you occupy a spot that nobody on earth occupies. He didn't just say, here's your general purpose and here's your specific purpose. But then he said, not only am I giving you that, but I'm going to give you an excitement for it. It's called passion. I love that part. People say, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I always say, well, what's your passion? I live my passions. If I don't feel passionate about something, I usually don't do it. Because I know that that's how God guides me. He gives me something to do and then gives me an excitement for it. And he gives me a dream for it. And then I begin to dream, and I dream big, and I realize my dad always told me this, that dream big because God's always dreaming bigger, but he does. It happens that way. So I begin to dream bigger, I begin to plan, and I begin to figure out what my passions are. So purpose first, and then passions. What are your passions? What are those things that I think about when I wake up in the morning and go to bed at night? What are those things that I think about when I'm walking in the mall during the day, or when I'm communicating with friends during the day? What kinds of things fuel my passions? It's there for a reason. So then, besides those two things, what are my fears? Some of you today, listen to me, some of you are frozen in your fears. You say, well, there's some things I'd really like to do, but there's so many reasons why I don't feel like I can get started. And the worst thing is to end your life with the coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Just saying, I could have done this, I should have done this, I would have done this. Don't you dare end your life that way. Begin the coulda, shoulda, wouldas right now and eliminate them and be proactive. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. He's given you a purpose. He's given you the passion to do it. Move. What's my fear? What are my fears? What am I afraid of? Write them down. Because sometimes writing them down helps us to really visualize it and to move past it. You know what I'm saying? So then what are my solutions? Not just what are my fears, but what are my solutions? In other words, here's what I'm afraid of, but here's the solution to that fear. And folks, you know what they are. There isn't a person listening to me right now that can't come up with a solution. And if you have your nose in your Bible at all, you know that God has a lot of solutions. And honestly, one of the biggest solutions is knowing who you are. Because when you know who you are, you know how to operate. And when you know who you are, you have a firm foundation to stand. It's a really important thing. And, that's what my coffee break is all about. And I'm anxious to go back one of these days to doing my podcast instead of the broadcast. I think this is good while we're quarantined, but it's not what I really want to do with it. Because in my podcast, I'm able to get into a lot of detail, a lot of teaching, and bring you to this place where you can be involved. So, I'm also working on another project, and I have a book coming out this summer that I won't talk about until it's ready to come out. But I'm working on another project, and it's the Metal Devo Workbook. And it'll be coming out, and it's something after you read Metal Devo that asks you questions about what you just read and things to write down, things to plan. What is your purpose? What are your passions? What are you afraid of? All of those things will be in the Metal Devo Workbook. And I'm hoping that as you begin to work through this, you can discover all of this and leave some of this stuff behind. The Christian life, folks, is a life of faith. It's one of the things I enjoy about it. After being a Christian for almost 63 years now, it's been amazing to watch God work, to watch Him move. Where God guides, He provides, and He really does. Oh my gosh. And to watch that happen has been such a huge blessing in my life, honestly. Huge blessing. So watching God work, watching things happen. One of the scriptures that I love the most in Hebrews 11 is talking about Abraham. And it's talking about the great men of faith, but specifically Abraham, the Bible says when he was called to claim his inheritance, got on the road and began to walk, even though he had no idea where he was going. Don't you love that? Why did he do that? Because God told him to. And he trusted that God would get him there. That's where we need to start. When I write down my fears, sometimes my biggest fear is, I don't know all the details. Well, you don't have to. I've never known all the details. And so many times I've just known that God told me to walk. And seriously, I've done that more than once. I've moved more than once with no idea what was about to happen. But I knew God told me to, and every time it's been amazing. The solution? Walk. It's one of them. There are many. But the solution here, just as an example, is walk. And even if you look foolish, even if people are coming up like they probably did with Abraham and saying, so Abraham, where are you going? And he goes, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Well, you're walking somewhere. Where are you walking to? Well, I'm going to claim my inheritance. Oh, cool. Where's it at? Well, I don't know. What? But he knew that God knew. That's all he needed. And he began to walk even though he had no idea where he was going. God knew. Don't you love that? So, my fears, my solutions, and then my 30-day goals. From the time that, metaphorically speaking, day 41 comes, my 30-day goals from there. What am I going to do for 30 days? What do I plan to do? How am I going to move forward? How am I going to move forward with my passions, with my purpose, and eliminating my fears, and with the solutions that I've talked about? And then, what are my life goals? Because, folks, The life goals is a big deal. Where is God moving me to? Where do I feel like He's moving me into? And you don't have to know every detail of that. I never have. But I know what I do. And I know that wherever I'm at, I do pretty much the same things. Even if God moves me into a new ministry, I pretty much do the same things I did in the last one because it is who I am. And so that's true for you as well. Hold on just 1 second. Okay, there's my car horn again. I've been telling you whenever I blow my nose that I think I need to record it one of these days. I think it'd make a really good car horn. And I think it would. Well, folks, I'm so glad you've joined me. And, Don Beeman, not spelled the same way as my name, but cool name, Don, from Wyoming is here. Danielle Boucher, good to see you. Angie is here. She says, love Rock Church, and that's because you go to Rock Church. Good to see you, Angie. So, good morning from Boston, Mass, William. Ruth Ann is here. And she says she's excited to see Christian Tapper and his wife, Hedda. She says, I'm so excited, yay. Good for you. That's right. And Ben says, I would like to see the metal deacon, Andreas Larson, and so would I. Andreas is just really busy these days, and we have asked him to host, and hopefully he'll get an opportunity to. He's a little overwhelmed with work and a lot of things right now, so, but we'd love to have him do that. Hello from Concord, NC, North Carolina, and let's see. So great to have you guys here. This is awesome. John Osgood is here from Long Island. I say that every day, don't I, John? But it's important that people pronounce it right, because that's how you say it in Long Island. Yes. One of the advantages to doing a lot of traveling, which I have done, is learning how to pronounce some things. Melissa says, howdies from the feedlot in Kansas. There you go. Cool. Let's see. Damien, good morning. What metal do you like, Bob? From Winnipeg, Canada. Damien, I like good metal. Honestly, people ask me what kind of music I like, and my general answer is always I like good music. There's a lot of music that sucks, and a lot of it that's really good. And if music's done well, even if it's country western, if it's done really well, I even like that. Okay, this is true confession time, isn't it? But I like all kinds of metal too, and if it's done well, I love it. And if it's not done well, I'm not such a huge fan. Just saying. Yes. So, Glenn is here. Glenn, groovy morning to Glenn. Mike Trishelle says, because he's a groovy guy. Let's see. Manny says it'd be fun to recommend a song for each day. That would be kind of fun. And I'll have to think about that, because I have a lot of songs in my head. Yeah. You know what song I woke up to today in my head? Good day, sunshine, doo-doo-doo. Good day, sunshine, doo-doo-doo. Good day, sunshine. Good day, sunshine. Beatles. And I opened up my curtain this morning and the sun was shining. It's the first song that popped into my head. And so I told my friend Siri, I can't say the word because she would wake up and says, can I help you? So I can't say it. But I said, play that song. And she did. And then I said, play it again. And then I said, play it again. So it's been a good day sunshine morning for me. Yeah, so Folks, you've got such great comments here. I wish I could read them all. Um, let's see. Gosh, I can't get to everything. Sorry about that. Craig is here from England. Welcome to you. William says ragweed and other plants are the scourge of my allergies. You know, in particular, Western ragweed is probably the biggest one that I am allergic to as well, William. So I feel you, brother. Absolutely. Brian Perry's from Memphis. He says, I'm late. Better late than never. So I'm glad you're here, dude. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sue is back from Waipaca. God bless you, Pastor Bob. Thank you, Sue. You know, Sue has been here, actually, helped us to build our food shed that we prepare all the food in and to store the food in. And I appreciate, there was a group of people, and she goes to, or did, I think, at that point, went to Pastor Bob 2.0's church, and he brought a whole team of people down. Man, that was such a blessing to us to be able to have them to do some construction, and we used that building like crazy. So Jeff says, have you ever thought about writing a book on the history of Sanctuary and your life in Christian metal? You know, I've been asked to do that many times, and I think I will one day, but to be honest with you, there are too many other things in my heart to do. Most of them have to do with teaching and instruction and foundation and all of that, and I think that's more important for my time right now than that book. And I've still got so much life yet to go. I'm just getting started. Seriously. I'm going to live until I'm 110, and then I told God that we could renegotiate at that point. But so I've got a lot of years ahead, and I don't think a book right now would cover everything. There's some really great times ahead. Just saying. Now, I have a lot of insight in things that I've learned that I've already shared, and those are all in my book that's called Seriously, Letters to Myself at 21. And this book is just a series of letters that I wrote to myself on a lot of different things, a lot of different areas, things that at 21 I wish I would have known more about. And there's so much here that I would love you to know. And if you speak German, it's also out in German. And all of these are available on Amazon or wherever you buy books. So, Cheryl says, sometimes it's hard for me to have no fear in the unknown. And that is true. But you know what? I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know who holds tomorrow. That's the point. And we don't know what's going to happen today. You know, some of you that are listening to me and watching me right now may not be alive this time next year. You don't expect that. But stuff happens. And we never know what tomorrow's going to hold, but we know where we're going. We know where we're going is glorious. And anytime God decides to take us home, wow, it's going to be awesome. So that's kind of, and I know that's almost cliche, but it's really true. And so there is a little bit of fear in the unknown unless I realize who's holding me. So that's the important thing. I know who holds tomorrow. I don't have to know what tomorrow holds. I just have to know who holds tomorrow. Anyway, Glenn, he says, I hear you. Wish I had been more consistent with mine. Totally understand. William Hall says, good morning, my brother, Pastor Bob. Good morning to you, William. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is for you. Andrew says, hello from Missoula, Montana today. He's a truck driver. You know, I'm from Montana. Missoula's a great place, beautiful place. Green and mountains and wonderful, and I'm sure there's snow there today. It's also a place where there's a lot of wind, so be careful there today too, because sometimes that kicks up. Ivan is here from Tijuana, Mexico. Good to have you here, my friend. Julia says, Pastor Bob, can you talk with the Kentucky accent? Why, sure I can. Well, I might could if you just stick around for a little while, because I love to talk Kentuckian. Well, Kentucky isn't so different than Nashville. And here in Nashville, we got that accent too, and sometimes we talk like this. And sometimes they talk like this in Kentucky. Just saying. You know, one of the guys that works here in the ministry with us is actually from Kentucky, from the hills of Kentucky. And he talked like this, too. And so I'm around him all the time because he works for us full time. And with the homeless ministry. And I hear the Kentucky accent, so I could get it down pretty tight, I think. Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, I wish I could just... There's so many things, so many questions people have, and we keep running out of time. And you know that Facebook only allows you now to go 60 minutes at the most, and then you cut off, which happens yesterday. I got a little over, and it was over. Yeah, so... Good morning from Virginia Beach, Leo. Good morning to you. I'm trying Headbangers Brew for the first time, and I love it. You could put Starbucks out of business. Well, what a great idea. I think we just might. Now, what do I do with my coffee? That one's empty. I must have set it down somewhere and forgot where I put it. I thought I had it right here with me. What? Oh. Is it behind? No, it's not behind there. The panic that sets in when you realize that you forgot to bring your coffee with you. How does a thing like that happen? I have no idea. Manny says, for some reason I heard that song Good Day Sunshine that you sang in a growl metal voice. Is there such a thing as too much metal? What? Of course not. I think that'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Yes. So Angie says, I met you at Rock Church in Peoria. And Angie, I remember. And you know that Chuck Tate is going to be one of our hosts this afternoon on our family chat. He's going to talk about 41 Will Come, his book, and he is Angie's pastor. 3 o'clock this afternoon, Central Time. Don't you miss that. And then tonight we have Brother Larry here, Larry Fish. So don't forget that we've got some stuff coming up. And again, next week, folks, 27 family chats coming up. We got a lot of people here just for you. Why? Because we like you. So family chats are coming up, and from our quarantine, I know. You know, sometimes I'm just sitting and I go, you know what would be a good word? It was one of those. Quarantine. We have a quarantine that's doing the family chat. So, I know. Robin is here. Good day to you, my friend. Central Illinois, one of my dear old friends, and you know, he's been in a whole lot of bands. He's been in Frost Harder. He's been in, he's been in a lot of bands these days as well. But Antester in the past, some of you that are into the heavier music. But he's a dear old friend. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Let's see, who else do we have in the house today? Andrew says, no snow, nice and sunny in Missoula. Well, that's cool. And unusual, I must say. Let's see. Michael Studeman says, good morning. Friday after Good Friday with Christ, every day is good. You know, every day is Good Friday, isn't it? Because of Good Friday. Every day is Easter because of Easter. And when we say he is risen, it's not once a year. You wake up every day and say, he is risen. It's the reason that we're here, because he is risen. Good, isn't it? Hey, Pastor Bob, waving a hand, working, so I'm here for a second. Hi, Brian Wise. I'm glad you joined for a second. And William says, now sing My Old Kentucky Home. My Old Kentucky Home. Beautiful song, but I don't sound beautiful, so sorry about that. He says, sing it like Boxcar Willie. I'm not sure I've heard that version, but sounds interesting. Andrew says, Mama always said life is like a box of chocolates. I wonder where you got that from. Aaron says, good morning, love you. Thank you, Aaron Dean. Appreciate that. So many of you are just joining, and we're just wrapping up. Can you believe it? Well, folks, we are wrapping up. Time to say goodbye. And once again, don't forget that this afternoon, Chuck Tate will be here, 3 o'clock Central Time, to do a family chat with you from his book, 41 Will Come. Such a great book for this time. Please, please, please don't miss it. You will be so blessed. And then Larry's here this evening with some really great things from his heart as well. So, great things coming up. I will be back again Monday with a whole new bunch of stuff to talk about. I've got some great ideas, some things I want to share with you, and some big announcements as well. So, folks, God bless you. Don't forget that you are blessed. So go and be a blessing.